Do you feel the need to supplement if you're in a relationship with a placeholder?
It took a lot of people beating it into me.
Do you feel now, looking back, did you know you weren't the only one?
I did.
When was your last committed relationship, and why did that one end? Welcome to today's episode of Relationship Talk with a Guest. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, click the subscribe button so you won't miss out on the new content. We heard about the dating pool from the hearts of two single men who are really close to us, our brothers. If you haven't seen the episode, be sure to check it out. They gave some great insight. During that episode, I shared on behalf of my sisters, but I wanted to give a voice to actual women who are in the game right now. You know, someone who has spent some time there and successfully found love. So we have my cousin, Kiki Langston, and my best friend, Felicia Robertson, with us today. And I'm so excited to dive in.
Hey, thank you guys for coming to share with us and offer some insight about what is happening in the streets. We want to know. We want to know. So my first question, to put things in perspective for the conversation. Felicia, you are single right now by choice.
I am.
Do you have a desire to be in a monogamous relationship and eventually a marriage?
Absolutely. I am made to be somebody's wife.
I agree.
See, y'all know me. Y'all know
I agree.
I like that whole, it's a us thing. So, yes, I want to be, just for one-on-one with one person for the rest of my life.
Are you ready for it now? Or are you in a season where you're in preparation?
I honestly think that I'm in a season for preparation.
Okay.
That's bold to say.
And it's just simply because, I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
I've been married before. So I kind of know what it entails. But I also got some baggage I probably need to make sure that I don't take into my next one.
Right.
So that I don't mess that up.
That's so wise.
Yeah, I can't go into it and absolutely kill it before it even gets started. Yes. So there's some things right now that I need to work on. I need to prepare. I need to get ready for myself before I can give it all to somebody.
I think that's wise because a lot of people, as soon as you get out of a relationship, especially if you're used to it, then you're like, I gotta feel this time. I gotta feel. The body.
So I have always been like that, out of one relationship straight into another one, because I am afraid of being alone. So, it is. It's very comforting to have somebody there to hold you, even if they're not the right one for you.
Right, placeholder.
Yes, that is exactly
because even a placeholder can hold you.
They can.
The problem is once they're not holding you, it's a whole lot of...
And then you end up falling in love with the placeholder. You knew they were a placeholder to begin with. But then you start spending time and you end up catching feelings. And in the back of your mind, he ain't right.
It becomes a routine.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's really falling in love with the placeholder or just falling in love with what the placeholder is.
The idea of what
the fact of having somebody.
Right. So, they're giving all that stuff. I know they're not the one for me, but I can't get rid of this comfort that they're giving me. So I know I'm not in love with them. They're not the one for me, but they're giving me something I need.
Right. Do you feel the need to supplement if you're in a relationship with a placeholder?
That thought always comes in.
You're like, I know you're here, but I need something else.
Yeah, it's something you ain't giving me because they're not the one for you. So they can't give you 100% because they're not the one God has prepared for your life. Yeah. So it's always that something that's missing.
So still looking, but then if the right person comes, you're not really available for them completely because now they got to wait for you to get out of a situation. So what you're doing is a really wise thing. To take this time and clear out space. I always
have this wisdom. I didn't always have it. It took a lot of people beating it into me. An amazing coach, by the way. But, it really did take some beating it into me that, hey, you don't have to keep doing this pattern. You keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results.
Because it's almost like if you win your dream furniture and it shows up at the door, they delivered it and they're ready to put it in, and you got all your stuff still at the house. And you're like, where am I going to put it? You don't have anywhere to put it, even though it's everything you always wanted.
Enjoy that.
You can't.
Because everything else
it's a misclutter.
Yeah. It's either going to be layered on top of the old furniture, or now it's got to just sit outside in the elements while they wait for you to move all the old stuff out.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Kiki, you're in a monogamous relationship right now, right?
I am.
Okay.
Point.
Okay, good.
Praise God for that.
Now, do you want to get married? Because you've been married before, right?
I have been married before.
Okay.
I definitely want to get married again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So before the relationship that you're in, and then now, when was your last committed relationship, and why did that one end?
So probably about 8 years ago. It ended because exactly what Felicia said, pretty much a placeholder.
Yep, found a placeholder.
I can't really, well, I'm not gonna say that because I was married for almost 10 years.
Okay.
We dated for 4 years before we actually got married. But I was a child at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so.
You didn't know what to look for.
Right, so over the years I've noticed that love my definition of love tends to change as I get older.
Right.
So I think that my reason for not being married to that person right now is because that was a childhood type of love. The things that I require now, I didn't require then.
Right.
The way that I looked at love, I definitely didn't look at it like that then. And so my relationship before this one was kind of like that in between. I was in that in between type of state. So he wasn't my ex-husband, but he wasn't these jokers that get in your inbox and talk crazy to you either.
Right. I'm so ready to do social media.
Yeah. So he was kind of wise and very much educated. Could hold a conversation. That was one of the things that my ex-husband and I didn't really mesh on. I was a talker, he wasn't.
Right.
And so this person could hold a conversation.
Yep.
Intellectually, he could stimulate my mind, but we just wasn't compatible.
Right.
Yeah, we both have very type A personalities. So, yeah.
And that's enough reason to go.
And that's kind of like my last one. He could hold a conversation. Boy, he could hold a conversation. And that is what brought me in. Like, that's what kind of sucked me into that relationship.
Don't roll your eyes like that.
Did I roll?
You rolled them hard.
I'm trying. So it's been about, 3 years, I guess you could say. But really, I would have to say 4 years. Because that really wasn't a relationship. I'm sorry, not 4 years. An additional 4 years. 7 years. Because it wasn't a relationship with him. In my mind, I wasn't single. I was in a relationship, full-blown, committed. But I wasn't the only one. So, that really wasn't a real relationship for me.
Do you feel now, looking back, did you know you weren't the only one?
I did. I did.
Even though you
did
said...
I want to look over the
right.
fact that I wanted to look over it and keep making excuses. But I knew that I wasn't the only one. Because he made his character known in the beginning, but he was a placeholder for me. So he offered that comforting stuff that I wanted. It made me look over the other stuff. that I knew I didn't want. So it's been a while for me. But it is by choice now because I know I need to heal. Because there was some damage done there, you know. There was some damage done in the relationships before him. And I just keep, you know, bringing it over. And nothing is healing. And it really blinds me to, I think, some of the good guys that have probably been put right in front of my face. And I really couldn't, because I was nitpicking. I'm used to this. You probably do that too. He did that. He held his mouth like that. You probably a liar.
Right.
You know? And it's just that constant, you know, comparison.
Yes.
I know that healing was different for everybody.
Yeah.
What does it look like for you? Like, what does the healing space look like for you? What do you have to go through?
I'm not exactly sure what I need to go through to get there, but in my mind, my healing stop would be not having the animosity toward, like, exes, you know. I want to be able to think about their name and be able to wish them well. Because then I know that I'm not holding on to something any longer. I want to know what I want 100% out of a man. And I don't know that yet. I don't. And it's because my judgment is just so clouded with everything that I've gone through that I don't really know what the man looks like. I don't know what I'm looking for.
How do you think you find that out?
I probably need to dig deep within myself first. But I really, really need to get closer with God. Because
Key.
I know the answers are there.
Message.
I know he holds them. It's also, it's crazy because, so I had this epiphany that I do need to get closer to him. And that's the only way that this whole situation is going to change. And then all these exes start popping into my inbox.
Yes.
You know, giving me this feeling that I've gone months and ain't felt before, and I've been okay with it because I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to heal.
Yeah, you gotta go.
And now they pop up, and it's like one last time,
Right.
You know? And it's just And now I'm having these thoughts that I wasn't having, and I was able to push out before, and now they're slowly creeping back in.
Reeling you back.
So
Jonathan McReynolds' song Cycles. In his song, he says that Satan learns from our mistakes even when we don't. So he's like, he knows, even when we keep doing the same thing, he knows what to put in front of. He knows what to present to us to get us back in the cycles again.
Yeah, I realized that, and I didn't realize this until recently. Like, even though I wasn't in the relationship with the same person, I was actually in the same relationship. Just with different people.
Different phase.
Right.
With different people.
That's big.
Yep.
So the things that, and because I'm the common denominator, I knew that there were some things about me that needed to change.
To change the equation.
Yeah. So,
You know, it's crazy you say that because my last, he actually told me that. He was like, we got into an argument one time and he said, out of all your relationships, you're the common denominator. So think about it. And I was so pissed. I was like, it is not my fault that y'all
dare you say that?
and that y'all lie and that y'all treat us like you do. It is not my fault.
Yeah.
I had to take a step back. Maybe it is my fault.
Yeah.
Because I'm allowing those certain same type of people into my life and to, you know, take what I have to offer. I'm allowing it. So maybe it is my fault.
Yeah, so,
I am the common denominator.
So, and this is so crazy. My 26-year-old daughter told me, Mom, like the type of men that you're attracted to are pretty much like one and the same.
Wow.
Even though one may not been able to communicate and the other one did, they really do have similar traits, like their demeanor made, the same and things like that. And I was like, Lex, you don't know what you're talking about. But she did. She does. I mean, she's been with me. She's witnessed this her whole life. Like the type of guys that I entertained. Yep. She witnessed it. And the only way I had to really like, I can remember like being, I think it was like right before my 40th, 30, between 35 and 40, I was like in a place where, like Felicia, I was in a situationship. I was, talking to someone that made it clear that we weren't together, but we were together every day. So in my mind, even though he said that, we were together every day, like we interacted with each other's kids and everything. In my mind, we were in a relationship, and I was faithful to him. I didn't, like somebody else tried to talk to me, I'd be like, no, he gonna find out. He gonna find out. And even when I did like get the nerve to like talk to someone on the phone or something like that, he would find out, and once he found out, then he got closer to me. He got closer to me, and so I pushed that other person away. So I was just like, it has to be something about me. So I fasted and prayed, and like, God, like, why do I keep allowing this type of hurt to happen? And I can remember, as plain as day, I had a dream about my father passing away, and I could see the funeral so clearly. I could see everything just so clearly, and I was. If anybody knows me, they know that. Like, my appearance is very important to me. In the dream, I was late for my own father's funeral because I was looking for something to wear. Like, God, but I had no feelings about his death. In our relationship. Didn't know what that meant. So fast forward to 2019, my father got sick. And he actually passed away December 30th of 2019. And again, I felt like, oh, I'm not going to have any type of feelings or anything regarding this. And it was the total opposite. It was the total opposite. Even though our relationship wasn't the typical father-daughter relationship, when he passed away, a piece of me left. I felt empty. I felt empty. So, still fasting and praying, like, why do I still attract these jokers that, the same type of people? And to be honest, they had similar traits as my father.
As your father,
They had very similar traits as my father.
Filling a void.
Each one of them. Didn't know that. Didn't know that until he passed away.
Wow.
That in effort for searching for love.
Yep.
I was actually searching for love from him.
So I have a quote that I tell my players all the time about relationships, and that could be dating, people, friends, family, whatever. What you permit, you promote, and what you condone, you own. And that goes far, and it kind of goes both ways. You know, like what you allow to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're promoting
Yeah.
what happens,
Yeah.
even though you don't feel it's your fault. Even though the other person, they have to take responsibility for what they do, but you take responsibility for what you allow.
And see, I've had to start taking accountability for the things that I do, because it was pushed to me, dude, you keep, getting this because you keep allowing this from the beginning. If you set your standards, low at the beginning, it's hard to pull them up, So,
Spread your necklace out so it won't keep banging that microphone.
is it banging it?
Yeah, you're going to be able to hear that.
We can move it over.
Yeah.
What if I move
No, I'm
my
just saying
closer
spread
side?
So let me throw another ball in y'all's court. What do you think defines a good woman that's ready for marriage, and do you consider yourself that or ready for that?
Ooh.
That's tough.
Because every marriage is different.
True.
It just depends on the other person that's involved. So I can't say that my ready is your ready. But
That's a good point.
my ready, I guess, would have to be, I would need to completely know me. Like, I'm dealing with some issues with me. So I'm not marriage ready for him. I can't give him everything that he needs if I'm not, complete myself.
But what makes you a good woman? Like, what's a good woman, and do you consider yourself to be one in your mind?
Okay, so I guess, you mean like characteristics like honesty and
Yeah.
Stuff
things
like that. Yep.
So, I mean, all the good stuff would make you a good woman.
Like, what's the good stuff? Because it's different from person to person. So, in your opinion,
In my opinion, I need to be honest. I need to be open. We need to have communication, regardless of whether it's good communication, bad communication, whatever kind of communication. It just needs to be open. We need to be able to talk about everything. I'm really big on the making me laugh. You got to have a sense of humor. And so,
as a woman,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying you need to have a sense of humor to
Yeah,
be a good
absolutely.
woman.
Because that's what I desire. So the things that I desire, I need to be able to put forth myself,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm the whole old school thing, taking care of him, cooking for him, bringing him his food.
You're a nurturer.
I am such a nurturer, and maybe sometimes at a default, but I'm not completely there yet. Like I mentioned before, I'm not completely there for that.
So those are the things in your mind that make a woman a good woman.
Yeah.
As a total package, do you feel like you are a good woman?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What about you? What do you think makes a good woman?
That's like Felicia said. That's very hard to define, because I feel like we all should grow daily. We all should learn something new about our relationship daily. I've had role models like parents been married 44 years. My grandparents married 50, 60, whatever, something years. And I look at things like that as, I know I'm capable, but some of the stuff, I don't know if I'm ready to, if I'm capable of dealing with, like some of the issues.
What are some of the things, though? We're going to come to your sidetrack question. When you say, I'm not capable of some of the things, what makes a woman a good woman? If she's able to do what? What does she look like?
If she's able to not always, I think I've been single for so long that like kind of submission is kind of like my definition of what I see as submission with other people, that's gonna be tough for me.
I think that's a good woman, though. I think being submissive.
You think that needs to be in
I
there?
think that is definitely okay, but you can't take it too far. You know what I mean?
You can't. In my opinion, if you're gonna be submissive, it's some things that you can't put limitations on. If I'm gonna be submissive, then I'm gonna be submissive. Like, I'm not gonna be submissive until he says something, he
So
says
I guess
this.
the thing would be is making sure you're being submissive to the right person. I'm okay with being submissive as long as it's to the right person, because if it's to the wrong person, that's my downfall right there. That's gonna destroy me. So I want to be submissive, but it's got to be the right person.
Yeah,
it's got to be somebody.
So the person has to be able to lead in order for
absolutely
you to be comfortable
to be and submissive. Being submissive 100%. A good woman, that's hard. That's hard. Because like I'm very nurturing. I'm very nurturing. One of the things that I do lack is communication, even though I talk. When it comes down to certain situations, or if I feel like it's going to end up in an argument, I'll just be quiet. I won't say anything. I'll shut down. And that's because of past trauma experiences. Of course, a good woman is going to be honest. She's going to be faithful. She's going That's hard.
Looking right.
That's hard. That's hard.
Jacked up a man. So
that's hard.
I'm glad that we're stumped here, and I challenge both of y'all to talk to the men that you love most in your life and ask them questions like, what's important to you in a woman? What types of things do you look for when you're looking for a wife, when you were looking for yours? And take those answers and pray on those and decide who you want to be as a woman before getting deep into the relationship. Because what happens is when you really like somebody, you allow them to tell you what the good woman is that they want, and then you try to be that.
Yeah, you kind of form yourself to that until you actually marry
but
them.
But see, like in my head, though, being a good woman is being what your partner wants.
But if that's not who you are, then you can only do that for a certain amount of time. And then you end up looking in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself because you've conformed to a person. So in actuality, y'all were not compatible. Because who he wanted and needed, he deserves to get who he wants and needs. That person's there, but it's not you. So you have to decide, you want to be a good woman, but you want to be a good woman for the man that you were created for. And you are, at your core, exactly who that man needs. But you have to know and be confident in what you bring.
But there will be some times where you're
going to compromise.
You're going to have to compromise and you're going to have to tweak things.
I'm not talking about tweaking and compromise.
So when you don't know yourself, it's hard to know where that stopping point is. Where am I now losing myself versus tweaking what I need to tweak for this relationship?
Core values. That's why this particular question, what defines a good woman? Who am I at the core? Who has God created me to be? What are my top 5 or my top 10 things that I am willing to offer any man that I get in a relationship with? I'm not saying, well, he don't like spicy salmon, so I ain't talking about little. He likes, Tide, and I like what's the game? I ain't talking about little stuff. You can compromise on that. I'm talking about who you are at the core.
Right.
I'm glad y'all that you brought up honesty, because both of y'all said honesty, and I value honesty.
My birthday is like 2 days apart.
Yeah, so, right. Yeah. I value it, but I did see it was a reel, and I wish I could remember who it was and what artist said it. But she said, lie to me, like, don't be honest with me. And she was like, I don't value honesty that way. And I was like,
Yeah.
So she said, you lie. What? She said, you lie at work to the people, you smile at them, you offer them your best self, and then you come home and put the hard truth on me.
Yeah, unload.
You unload all of that foolishness on me, and I don't get. She was like, lie to me, making me feel good, smile at me. And so I understand what she's saying, but I don't think that's a safe place for a relationship. You have to allow this person to be honest, in my opinion. Allow them to be honest, because if he's at a bad space and honest about it, you can work together to get up. But if he's lying at work,
that's
and
my job
lying,
as a good woman to be able to be that support system to build you up when you're falling down, when you're in that sinking sand, to be a step for you to get up out of it. That's my job.
I do think it's hard, though.
Honesty. It is.
I think honesty is hard.
So the guy that I'm in a relationship currently, I've never, like he is so honest with me to it. Like it's hard for me to deal with. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that, I guess, like you said, Maya. Like I guess I'm used to people like kind of sugarcoating it and walking around it and things like that. This joker will say,
"Yep,
he gonna give it to you straight."
Nah,
straight, no chasing.
Don't do that.
You got to be careful.
Don't say that.
Or if you want the honesty, don't ask.
Don't say that.
If you're preparing yourself to meet your soulmate, and you try dating and keep choosing the wrong person, or you keep making terrible decisions and you self-sabotage, just know that you don't have to continue doing this. You can't be your best self by yourself. You need community, and we would love to walk through this with you. That is why we created the experience Where's Bae? The Soulmate Search. When you complete it, you will know and understand how the chemicals in your body keep playing tricks on you, leading you astray, and how to beat that. The type of person you truly want, and how to identify them. How to grow and develop into the best version of yourself so you're able to attract and sustain the right relationship. For more information on the Where's Bae experience, go to onevisionerc.com, click on Marriage Tools, then click on Where's Bae. Get started today and get right and ready for Bae. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss new content. Like the video so we'll know you enjoyed it, and share it with someone so they too can be blessed. Have a great day.